Okay, so for the substrate that we're making, I use 100% Coco Coir. The brand I use is this Plantonix Cocoa Bliss from Amazon. So I buy it by the box. Inside of it, it's gonna have like 5 or 6 of these little sleeves. So Coco Coir, if you don't know, is basically coconut husk that's shredded and compressed. At least that's my understanding of it. I recommend this brand because other people recommend it to me. And more or less what it comes down to is some Coco Coir has trike like added to it for gardening purposes when you want that, you know, contamination or whatever it is. But regardless, this is what brand I use, never had a problem. So it comes in these compressed bricks and I'm gonna teach you how to make it. Okay, so for demonstration purposes, I'm not gonna open this one because I already made Coco Coir last night. Just forgot to film it. So you're gonna open this, take the brick out, you're gonna put it on a food scale and measure it in grams. So let's say that's 543 grams without the plastic. You're gonna take the 543 grams, you're gonna times it by 4.56. So what that is you want 4.56 milliliters of water per gram of Coco Coir. So just for simplicity's sakes, if this measured 1,000 grams exactly, you would have 456 milliliters of water, which is 4.56 milliliters or liters. So yeah, when you do the conversion to liters, just divide it by 1,000. So you have 4.56 liters of water. So let's just call it 4.5. Okay. Okay, you're gonna take your water, you're gonna add whatever the math was from that for the water to a pot. I used the pressure cooker last night because it was already out. Just put the water in the pot. So if that was 1,000 grams, you'd have 4.56 liters of water. So add 4.56 liters and 2 extra cups. So you'd have 4.56 liters of water plus 2 cups. You're gonna boil the water. Once it's at a heavy boil, you're gonna put it, we're gonna cook up or pasteurize the Coco Coir. Okay, once your water is boiling, you're gonna take a scoop out about 2 cups of water. That's why you have the 2 extra cups. Put the 2 cups inside an ice chest. Close the lid and wait about 10-15 minutes. Basically, you're preheating the ice chest. Then you're gonna take the Coco Coir. You have the 2 cups of water in there. Spin it in there for about 10 minutes. It's nice and warm. Put the Coco Coir in there, not like this, but flat in the bottom. I already have Coco Coir in there from last night, it's cooked. But you're gonna put it flat in the bottom. If you have multiple ones, put them next to each other. Once those are inside there, it's gonna soak up a little bit of the water. Usually I get the bottom wet, I flip them over, take the rest of the water, mix it inside there. So you're just gonna pour the water right on top of the Coco Coir. Once that's poured inside there, close the lid and come back about 5 minutes later with like some tongs, take them and flip them over one time again, if you can. Sometimes they just like disintegrate already. But if you can, flip them over one time and then close the lid and wait for an hour. Okay, so this, let's just imagine that it's an hour later and this has already been inside here for an hour. It's gonna look somewhat like this. That's your Coco Coir. And all you're gonna really do is take a wooden spoon, mix it up real good. So once it's all mixed up so that you have no dry spots, close the lid again and just like let it sit overnight. If you have like a more expensive cooler that holds ice for longer, it's gonna hold the heat longer. So I usually just wait overnight. I usually try to make this at nighttime, use in the afternoon the next day. If you have like a cheap cooler, totally fine too. You can really do it with like a bucket, but the bucket's kind of like melt in a little bit. They don't hold their shape. Regardless though, I use coolers, they're reusable. I use them for other things. But if you have a cheaper cooler, you don't have to let it sit as long. So the next morning come in, here, hold on a second. So the next morning, let's just imagine this has been sitting all night. You're gonna come in, you're gonna open it up. One, ensure there's no dry spots. If there was a dry spot, like a chunk, just pull the chunk out, throw it away. So you want this cool to the touch. It can be a little bit warm, but if you have a more expensive cooler, it's going to be like still pretty, I don't wanna say hot, but pretty hot. So what you can do is take like a wooden spoon, put it right here on the edge, close the lid so it has like a gap for ventilation so it can cool down a little bit more. You can ideally, if you're just gonna keep it closed the entire time, you can make this like 2 or 3 days in advance if you wanted to. But basically this is cooked right now. It's still a little bit warm, but it's not hot. But what you want is just below fill grade. So when I squeeze it, you can see like a little bit of water coming out after that first squeeze, a couple drops, but you don't want it like dripping water. So take it, squeeze it real hard. You have to like squeeze real hard. A little bit of water comes out. That's fine. That's gonna be properly hydrated. And then you're gonna be ready to use it.